Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is your host, your one and only host, Zach Lags, bringing you part 3, I think this is going to be part 3, maybe part 4. We'll see after I'm done doing this commentary. But part 3 is going to be about the community as another part, as a third big reason why I'm leaving Call of Duty. And it's not a clickbaity thing or a whiny thing where I'm fed up with the toxic fan base or people swearing at me in the lobbies, telling me I'm smelly and my mom is a whore. This is not that, right? And I want you to try to understand this as simplistically as possible. Everything that is going to be expressed in parts 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 is solely my opinion. Some of it is rooted in facts, but some of it is also rooted in just my view, where I stand in this game, in this title, right? And I want you to also understand another thing, is that I've never been a big Call of Duty fan. This was never my jam, right? But over the years, Battlefield kind of started betraying and changing so much that its fan base became betrayed, and there was just a toxic plume left over that just disoriented the gamers. So they wanted to just leave it and not deal with the madness anymore, which is completely understandable from a gamer aspect. You don't want to be led on or deal with broken stuff. You're paying money up front, right? You're not paying $10 a month for this game, you know, to do whatever it's doing, when there's free-to-play games that can give you just as much entertainment and longevity for your value and for your hard-earned cash, right, than these $70, $80, $90, $100 titles that we're supporting and giving our money to. But anyway, let's get into the main topic, and that is the community. And what I mean by the community is the streamers in general, right? Let's go to that topic first. The streamers have created a negative aspect of this game. The streamers show you that if you sweat as hard as possible, raising your heart rate to levels that mankind can't even comprehend, and if you drench your keyboard and gaming chair with all of your sweat, then for some reason someone will rise up out of the earth and bless you with a 5.0 KD, right? And that's just not reality. Those people try harder than Moses or whoever parting the Red Sea. There is nothing that makes sense about it. And the fact that we view this toxic, gameplay and aspect as something heroic in itself is obscene to me, right, in my mind. But as time goes on, gamers change, and perhaps it's not the game that's broken. Perhaps those broken fundamentals have always been present. Perhaps it is the gamers themselves and the Twitch streamers who have to bunny hop around every corner and constantly swap their weapon and slide cancel and do all of these things that just create this extremely annoying presence in the game where it's just not casual anymore, and it hasn't been for over 4 years. That's right. It's not just a Modern Warfare 2019, and that was the decline. That was the nail in the coffin, loosely balancing there in the wood, right? And we could have, as a community, blown it over and said, no, keep our game going. But instead, we took the hammer all together, hand in hand, and slammed it into that coffin, driving that nail home into its final destination, and its final destination being the way they play now, the way people play now. And that's an unfortunate reoccurrence, right? We created our own worst enemy, and that own worst enemy is ourselves, because it's an inconsistent fundamental flaw of this game that the community shows you that you have to try your hardest and you have to sweat as hard as possible in order to have a fun time. And this game only teaches you that if you camp, you lay prone, and you don't do those things, you won't have a fun time. And this will also go back to my previous video, part 2, a technical mess, by them using and abusing the skill-based system to not only affect lobbies, but how players interact with each other, therefore controlling how you are playing the game. It's not a random chance anymore. They're controlling that, and they're controlling your money by doing that. They've figured it out. Whether that's legal or not is something that I do not know, and I would not begin to comprehend, but I hope that there's other people out there that are understanding this, and there's many other people making videos about that skill-based system in its entirety and the toxicity that it represents. So I hope you take your time and you go out there and you do your own research and you create thoughts for yourself and wondering if this is worth your time in life. And as someone who's been a lifelong gamer who truly does enjoy competitive online multiplayer, when they remove that competitive aspect from these games, I no longer have an interest in them, because then it's just a manipulated state and it's a manipulated interaction where I'm not an idiot and I see through it. Although I will play this game until I have made my point, until I have enough content made up so I can talk about points moving forward and hopefully express my opinion in a more, astute verbal way instead of just rambling on. But let's go beyond the Twitch streamers, who we all know have a huge impact because they're paid by these developers and these game companies to say good things, to play good. That's why they're making money, is because the developer is going, wow, they're really good. We're going to pay you $10, $20, $30, $40,000. You have to keep doing good to keep that contract, to make that money. And also, you have to talk the game up even if you absolutely hate it, right? So how can you even have a good game anymore and a good perspective if that stuff doesn't exist anymore? And that's the individuality and freedom that should be present in these games. The next part, right? And I'm sorry if this video is running a little bit long. If you have made it this far, I appreciate your time, your patience, and your viewership. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking, disliking, commenting, and subscribing. If you wish to do all of the above, I'd appreciate that greatly. Even though you can't like and dislike at the same time, pick one and I'll support either choice. But moving on, one thing I've noticed when playing a lot of Shipment and a lot of these other game modes recently, and it's not just, I would think, TDM, though I have found it there, and I'm not a fan of TDM because campers are more prevalent there than in any other game mode. But I've found, since this game is hard to view things, and a lot of it seems dark in that they've darkened the map, laying prone has become the new meta where camping has evolved into running around with a shield on your back and laying prone in dark alleyways or inside of other players' dead, rotting bodies. And if you lay there, it's hard to see because your eyes aren't focused on the ground. They're focused straight ahead and up, right? Because that's realistically how you play video games. There's a horizontal aspect where all of your action goes on, and occasionally there is a little bit of vertical gameplay. And I will talk about that in a separate video, about how verticality destroys FPS games, especially arcade shooters. But to touch on it briefly, the more verticality you add, the slower the game goes, because the people who are playing the game, the gamers, are going to spend more of their time looking up and down than moving forward and interacting with things, which also degrades the core values and core mechanics of an arcade shooter such as Call of Duty. But anyway, back to the campers and everything. That's always been prevalent, but this game caters to them into such an aspect where the toxicity and the simplicity are melding together into something that makes it easy to, as you can see here on the screen, just lay here and nobody's even paying attention to me. This is a clip from part of a video from another game I was playing, of a video I think from part 1. If you haven't checked out part 1 and 2, please go do that. Check them out. Let me know what you think. Give me some ideas in the comment section below of what you think is also the downfall of Call of Duty and why you may be quitting it as well. But as you could see there from that gameplay, laying prone there was nothing. They weren't reacting to me, even though I was killing them, right? It took someone having to pre-fire around a corner to get me, right? And they still died because they had to exert all that time to focusing on someone laying prone. And I'm not sure if I had a riot shield on my back this game. I might have, but that's a whole other aspect. And I know in my previous video, I missed a buttload of what made it a technical mess, why it was a technical mess when it released, and why it still is a technical mess and continues to be a technical mess as they change and alter core mechanics of this game. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you think of anything else, or you can tell me anything else about how to improve this game or what is making this game fail, do so in the comment section below. Let me know why you would be quitting, why you're done with supporting these conglomerates. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate your views. Thank you very much, and y'all have a great day.